Hello and welcome to a cup of conversation here on BRT2 TV on BRT Family. Now this week we are talking about an event. We have 1 week left before we say hello to Easter and a very special event coming up in the Lutter area. Now it's for a very serious cause and we have two special guests in the studio. We have Robin Snape, who everyone knows is the man behind or the name behind two important associations. We have the Society for Protection of Turtles, Spot, and also Robin does great work for the North Cyprus Society for Protection of Birds and Nature, Kushkor, and also a young guy whose family lives in the Terence, although he's actually in the UK at the moment, but a young man who loves Northern Cyprus and wants to give back something to the community. We have James Green. So first of all, Robin and James, welcome to the programme.
Hi.
Now, first of all, Robin, you're not a stranger to the cameras. You've been interviewed many times by us here at BRTK and, of course, by me on this programme before. But for those who don't know about you, Robin, tell us a bit about yourself, please, a bit about your background.
Okay, so I came to Cyprus in 2003 when I was volunteering for the Turtle Project in Alagadi. I went on to do 3 seasons volunteering, and then in 2008 I came back and started to manage the project at Alagadi, and then I continued to do that. And in 2009 I decided to start doing a PhD with the University of Exeter, who put in all of the research effort into the work that we do at Alagadi. And I've continued that. It's a part-time PhD, and I'm supported by the Society for Protection of Turtles in Cyprus. I've since moved here, got married, and I've got a kid on the way now. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much.
So actually, I mean, one little trip to Northern Cyprus sort of like changed
that
the
was
course
it,
of your
really.
life. One meeting with the turtles and with the north coast of the island, and that was it.
Yeah, I'm here forever now, I think.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'll keep working with the turtles and.
Excellent. We'll hear a bit more about that later on. Let's talk to James as well. Now, James, looking at the press, I hear that you grew up here in Northern Cyprus. Your mum and dad brought you over here, and but now you're back in the UK studying as well.
Yeah, I'm studying.
So, what age did you come to Cyprus originally?
Well, I was born in England, and then I moved to Cyprus in 1999, when I was 8, and then I lived there. I lived over here until I finished college, and now I'm studying in Manchester in the UK.
And so I know you just arrived from the UK very recently.
Yes.
So how's it to be back here again after a bit of a break?
It's really nice to be back. It's nice to just be in my own bed.
Is it home here for you?
Yeah, it's definitely home.
I'm sure Mum and Dad are happy to have you back as well for a while. So let's talk about this event. I mean, I know that it's a lot of events coming together in one location. We're celebrating Easter on the 7th of April, which is next Saturday. And there's going to be special fates, lots of activities for the kids at Shuttle and Booster. But you're actually doing a special run. Tell us a bit about how this all came about. I mean, what's your involvement with what's going on next Saturday, James?
Well, it originally started last year. I started running with my girlfriend and her mother over here. And just running over here and seeing all the nice views, and it just relaxed me so much that I really got into running, and now I always run in England. So I wanted to do something over here to give back to the beauty of this country. So we decided to go with the turtles because a lot of them are dying over here, and we need people to be more aware and take care of them.
So, I mean, before the actual event that's coming up, do you know about the Turtle Project? I mean, everyone knows about the turtles here in Northern Cyprus. It's quite a local phenomenon for us. It's a symbol of Cyprus. But, I mean, were you always involved with nature and, the local beauty, as you said before? You liked it when you were running around. But did you know about the Turtle Society before?
Well, I've heard about it. I've never been and helped out or anything. But
never seen the turtles lay their eggs or hatch?
Yeah, I have. Well, we used to live in Yeshiramak when we first moved over here, which is the other end of the island. Quite
far away.
Yeah. And we used to go deep sea diving, and we used to see the turtles swimming around, and it was just a beautiful sight. So.
Well, off the waters near Yeshiramak?
Yes.
In that area?
Yeah.
I never heard of people diving in. Is it a good place to dive?
Well, now it's getting busier, so there's a lot more boats, and it's probably a bit more dangerous. But back then it was really quiet, so you could swim as far as you wanted to.
What was it like living in that area? Because normally people who come from the UK they have a great time in the Guinea area, in the centre of town where everyone is based. But living in Schottenmark, which is a beautiful green area, not too far from Güzeljord, I mean, what was it like growing up there?
Well, when we first moved over, I didn't know any Turkish, and living there probably helped me a lot because obviously most of the people over there don't speak much English.
Yeah.
So I went to full Turkish school, and I ended up learning Turkish in about 7 months, and then I just became friends with all the people down there, and they're all so friendly.
So coming together now for this special event, obviously you were invited to come along and help raise money for your charities. So I know that Spot organises many events over the years, over the whole year, annual events. So was it good for you to have an extra event like this now at the beginning of summer?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you know, we're very, very lucky to have a good group of fundraisers, particularly with Patricia Dan, who did so much over the year in creating a plan now of different events. And every year we try to do something new, and we repeat everything that we've done in the past. So things get better and better, and every year these events, you know, you learn from the first one, and then the next time you do it, it's much better. So it's good to keep doing new things and trying out new things. And we were really, really pleased when James came to us with this idea of doing this fun run. You know, it's particularly at this time because we have a gap in the calendar here. There's a lot of people around. You know, it's a good time for people to get together and do stuff. So, yeah, it should be really, really successful.
And as you said, there's a gap, and it raises awareness at this time of the year about the turtles, because I know that not long around after the event, I mean, we have actually the start of the turtle hatching season, don't we? Is it in May?
Exactly, yeah, it's only end of May, you know, so it's going to be 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and the first nests will start to be laid. So
yeah, the nesting season, yeah.
Yeah, the first nests are around the 20th of May,
So it's good to remind everyone.
Yeah, it's starting to happen. I mean, actually, the turtles, before they start to lay the nests, the turtles are gathering offshore and starting to, you know, they made their migration. They arrive in Cyprus probably at the end of April, so that's when they start to reproduce. That's when things start to kick off.
There are so many events and so many charities to help and associations to help as well, Robin. Over the years, you've been here seeing the progress of the Turtle Project and how it's going on. How important is it for locals to support minor events like these over the whole year here in Northern Cyprus? I mean, how much do we need to help you to carry on with your work?
Well, every year since I've been with the Turtle Project in 2003, our capacity has grown and we've been able to do more work. You know, we started in 1992. The first thing that we could do when we were here was to look after the nests on the beaches, you know, because none of the nests were being looked after, and most of the eggs were being eaten by feral dogs, by, you know, hunting dogs that have gone astray, going and taking the nests. So for years we've been caging over the nests, you know, and that's quite a big effort. It needs a lot of expense in terms of getting people down to the beaches every day, petrol costs, car costs, accommodation costs. Now we're starting to branch out and do more. We're starting to try to work in the local communities, trying to get restaurant owners to be more aware, you know, of beach bars, lighting on the beaches, things like this. Make sure there's appropriate signage around that people know not to do certain things on the beaches. And over the last couple of years, it's always been known that the fishery has had quite a big impact on the turtles, but from a conservation project that's, you know, based on land, it's quite difficult to do anything with the turtles when they're at sea. But now we've started to forge this relationship with fishermen since 2009, and we've been patrolling the beaches and looking at all the dead turtles that are getting washed up and scratching our heads to try to think about where they're coming from, and actually approaching the fishermen, doing anthropological surveys to get information from the fishermen, and that's really yielded some good fruit, you know. But you know, there's costs involved in getting all of that work done as well. And in terms of these events, you know, a lot of local people, particularly kids, it's a shame for them to grow up living in communities. You know, they might spend half of their life, you know, their entire lifetime within less than a kilometre of a turtle, you know, and they don't even know what it is. It's a shame for people to progress through their lives without knowing that, you know, these massive animals are living on their doorstep. I mean, this is a a loggerhead turtle skull, which we found on a beach a couple of years ago. You can imagine what a big animal this is. I mean, it's nearly as big as you, Jan. So
probably more intelligent than me as well.
People can come down to Allegady whenever they want in the summertime to see these. It's a good thing for people to bring their families down for the kids to see it, and it really impresses. Leaves a lifetime mark on them. To want to help and to do more things to sort of encourage their survival, because all over the world, the threats are growing and growing. There's problems with climate change that might impact them. Fisheries are getting bigger all the time. All over the Mediterranean, coastal tourism is developing and developing. Sometimes beaches get bought up completely and totally designated to tourists, and at that point, a nesting beach, which has been relied on by a population of, maybe 100 turtles, can just be there no more, and the turtles have got nowhere else to nest. So, we have to protect their habitats.
So it is very important that what you're doing. I know that things have developed. I know that we've got the Karashaka Watch as well. I know that Trisha Dan, we all know the Allegady area, the goat shed where everyone's based, the students are based, and we can go to the Karpaz as well, and there were some turtles nesting there. But it's actually getting, we're getting more and more information every year, and more input from locals who want to help you out. That's what I've seen over the years, the big change there. So you're going in the right direction, I think. Yeah. And
hopefully, we'll continue to go through that, and it's just becoming more and more self-sustained, and grassroots.
And I think every little bit helps, as you said, in the work that you're doing, and you're educating people as well about what's going on, so that we all know what to do, how to, not to throw rubbish into the sea, because it could affect the turtle swimming, and things like that. So it's all very logical and educational information. So you'll be there on the day, hopefully, representing
we'll be there.
Sport, and of course Kushkor, which is another hat that you wear here in all the Cyprus.
So I work with my wife, Dam Labeton, and also Wayne Fuller and Uzga Uzdin. We volunteer together in Kushkor, and it's chaired by Martin Marankos, and he will be there as well. So, hopefully we'll all be there, and lots of people to give out information.
And again, Kushkor does a lot of work. Is the library still active?
Yeah, the library's very active actually. Every Thursday afternoon, there's a group of volunteers that gather together and go to the library. And they the volunteers enjoy their work. It's a social thing for them. So there's a couple that maintain the library and maintain communication with the public, and organise some trips and these sort of things that we're starting to do now to get people involved.
Especially schools, I suppose.
Schools as well,
There are books there on various aspects of nature.
Yeah, it's a very good place for anybody, any biology teachers or anybody that has tried to do work with kids but struggled to find the resources, which has probably been a big problem in North Cyprus for a long time. They can arrange to go to the office at any time, and somebody who knows where everything is can show them around. 2 years ago, we had a grant from United States Agency for International Development, and we had $40,000 to do work on the office to make it better and to put this library in place. And now we've got a massive library, a massive selection of books at all levels, academic books, literature, and even a large section of just kids' books that people can take out, or they can photocopy activities for kids, so that all of it's in Turkish and English as well.
Excellent. So it looks like a good place to go and find out more about nature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and times like this, at the moment it's a migration season. The weather's gorgeous, the flowers everywhere. It's fantastic to come out on a trip. We usually have about 20 or 25 people, and we all go out together. And the more people that you have, the more chance you've got of seeing different birds. And we all get on really well, and have quite a good laugh. And it's usually a good day. Usually just rock up by a couple of lakes with the deck chairs and a cup of tea.